got on this. Okay, cool. So we were discussing about filter data table. So filter data table, what filter data table activity does is you have a data table. Suppose you have a data table over here. Okay. It has different column, C1, C2, C3, C4 column. Okay. And it runs row 1, row 2, row 3, and some row 4. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to uh, suppose filter out according to the particular value. You want to say that, okay, if C3 value, give me a data table where C3 value is true, or some, random. You can say that, okay, filter this data table with the where you can say the name is Maninder. Okay. So in this case, what we will do is we will use filter data table activity of UiPath. We'll go over here, we'll drag this filter data table activity over here. And then in the initial, so filter data table activity will ask you few information. First, it will ask you which data table you want to filter. What is your input data table? So my input data table is student info. Okay. So student info is my data table. So now, second thing, it will ask me few parameters. Okay. For that, you need to click on this configure filter. I'll click on this configure filter. You can see over here, input data table, student info is already popped out over here. Okay. Now, suppose you want to filter out with the help of, you want to filter out according to the uh, is Indian column. You want to check, you want to get a data table from the parent data table student info that, okay, give me the information of those student, give me the information of those student whose in is Indian column is true, whose is Indian value is true. So that means I'll give a column name over here and I'll say my column name was is Indian. Okay. And I want to check with the value and I'm making it true, where the value is true. Now it will ask me, okay, you have given me a condition that, okay, is Indian is true. So I will filter out the data. Do you want to keep it or you want to remove the data? Suppose you have got the data, you have got the data when you filter out with the help of C3 is Indian, which is Indian column. You have filtered out and you got 3 rows. Now it will ask you whether you want to keep this data and create a data table, or you want to remove this information. Okay, then you will have R4 only. Suppose R1, R2, R3 is true for is Indian. Now R4, you want to create a data table with this data. Means from the original data table where you want to remove, where the value, this condition is, matching, whether not matching, exactly matching, whether you want to keep it or remove it. If you remove it, you will get the other data instead of this data. So I want to keep the data. I want to keep the data and keep the value like this. Okay, where my is Indian column is true. Now you need to save this data table, the filter data table, into a new data table. You can overwrite it with giving just student info. So the data table will be overridden. So instead of that, what you can do is you can create a new data table. I'll press DT underscore. I'm saying Indian students and enter. So now what it will do, it will filter out the data according to this information and just give me students from India, and save this data into DT Indian student, a new data table. Okay. They are why people. Again, okay. Now I have saved that data into a new data table. If you want to see that information, what we will do, we'll debug it, right, as we used to do, and we'll see it in our local panel, how my DT Indian student data table look like. Okay, so I have built a data table. So I have initially the data table is like this. Okay, now I have a message box. I can see my information over there. Yes. So these are the information I can see, and press OK. Now I'll go over here. So it has added a new information. If you see my student info data table, it has added a new information with Maninder, this 125, and you can see over here. Okay. Now I'm going for the next. This you can see your information in the message box. I have converted an output. Now it is filtered data table. Okay. So if you want to see it in a local panel, what we need to do is after that, we need to put our activity so that, it will hold there and we can see it in local panel. Otherwise, it will just say, okay, I'm done with the code. Okay. So I'll say, okay. So if I want to see again, now what I can do is I want to see this information into a local panel. So I'll go step into, now step into quickly. Okay, now I can see over here. Now step into, I can see my older information over here. Till now, I can see it has added a new column called total marks and also my information over here, and it have removed the data which I wanted to remove. Now I have a filter data table. If I go step into now you have a new data table, DT Indian student, and in this data table, you can see you have only one candidate, which is from India, which is Maninder 23, 52, 4, and this is true. So if this condition is matching true, then only you got the data table, which is DT Indian student. So this is how you can filter out the column, according to the column. If you want to add, suppose you want to say, okay, you want to filter out on the basis of two columns, you say, okay, the student should be from India, and one more information I can add, or you can say, or information, you can say, okay, uh, you know, the student can be from India. Okay, you didn't got Rohan because we removed Rohan from the data table with the help of remove data row. Yeah, so that's why you just got Maninder. It's a new data column, means the only data in that new data table. So suppose you want to say that, okay, fine, I want to get a student either from branch ENTC or Indian. It's or condition, or and condition. Before applying this filter, let's understand a little bit about and or condition. So or condition is like, okay, if you have or condition says when both the things, if you have put or over in between these two conditions, if these two conditions are true, then that will be true. If these two conditions, this one's condition 1, condition true, you have put it. So if you put or between two conditions and first and second condition is true, it will be true. If the first condition is true and you say that, okay, fine, first condition is true, second condition is false, again it will give true. If second condition is true and first condition is false and you put or, you say, okay, first condition or second condition. If first condition is true, second condition is true, it will give true. If this is true, false, it will give true. Even if it is false, if it is true, it will give true. The last condition is when both the conditions are false, then it will give false. But in case of and, what will happen? Suppose this is one condition, you have put condition 1 and condition 2. What will happen if this condition is true and this condition is false? It will give false. If this condition is false and this condition is true, it will give false. If this condition is false and this condition is false, it will give false. But if this condition is true and this condition is true, it will give true. That means in the and condition, both the conditions should be true, then only it will give true. And in or, if both the condition are false, then only it will give false. Otherwise, everything will be true. Okay. Got it, Samriddhi?
Yes.
Have any doubt?
No, no.
Okay, now let's get back to our task. So what I want to do is I want to say that when I want to put two conditions, right? So I want to put that, okay, fine. Give me student. Either the student can be from India or the branch is ENTC or the branch is comp. So what I will do, okay, people are again coming. Okay. So what I will do over here is I'll go to filter, configure, click on this one. And over here, you can see a small button. You can click on that button. I will say when my branch is equal to comp. Okay. If is equal to comp. But right now, between these two condition, and is there. So I will click on this and it will become or. Click on this and or it will become and. So I need or condition because I want to get a data of student, not only Indian, but also I want to get the data of student. Either the student can be from India or the branch can become comp. So I'll press OK. So it is or condition. That means any of the condition is true, any of the condition is true for any information, it will pick that one and keep
Hello.
it. Hello. Yes, Amol.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
thought my voice is not. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah. Okay, so now let's go to step into and let's see our output in local panel. Okay, now let's, so what it is doing, it built a data table. Now you can see your data table over here. Okay, this is your original data table. Now what I did, I added a new column. Okay, total marks, the add column has been added. I added a row and then I removed Rohan's information. And now my output, and I can see my new data has been added and the Rohan has been removed. Rohan's information has been, now I'm filtering the data table. Now the data table has been filtered and my data has been saved inside DT underscore Indian student. Now I can see over here. So over here, you can see Ritu, she's from comp. She's not from India, okay? She's not from the country is not mentioned over here for Ritu, but you can see the branch is comp, okay? Where you can see the Maninder is from India, but Ritu is, the information is not there. It's not false or it's true. It's just a blank information. There's no information for Ritu, but she is from comp. So both are satisfying either one of the condition, which is given in the filter. If you say and, it will give 0. It will, this data table will be completely empty. You know why? Because we don't have any single student who is satisfying both the condition. I have put and, right? Now we don't have a single candidate who is satisfying a condition. So if I want to make that thing, I can put Ritu is from comp and I'll put a true over here. Now let's see. Okay, I'll get a information. I should get, okay, I should get only Ritu because Ritu is from India and the branch is comp. I should not give Maninder also, okay? Because I have put in the filter condition, I have put and instead of or. I have changed it to and. Now you can see over here. Okay, now step into, step into, step into, step into, step into. Okay, now this is the original data. Okay, now step into, step into, step into, step into, and output data. Now message box, I'll see the message box over here. This is the information, final information, right? Now let's filter data. Okay, now over here, we can see our data. Now I got Ritu. I didn't got Maninder because Maninder is from ENTC. So we need a data who is satisfying both the condition. If you want to add more condition, you can click on over here. And again, then it will be the comparison between first, it will check these two, then it will check these one. So if you want to remove it, you can remove this. Okay. Now, if you want to add it and make it or, so how it will be, there will be and between these and then or these, the final situation. Okay. So this is your filter operation. If you want to put it, you can put it over here in your code. If you Have any doubt? Please raise your question. Bharti, all good? Huh?
I understood everything.
Okay, great. Rohan?
Yes, Maninder.
Okay, Rajeshwari, all good, right?
Yes, Maninder.
You're familiar with this also, right? Or an and.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Boolean operations.
Yeah, Boolean operation. So anyone who has who is not clear with this, please let me know. I can explain it in the descriptive manner. Fernando?
Yeah, it's clear. So only I have a question.
Uh-huh.
In the filter data table, we can use the same data table in the
You
input
can,
and
you can.
output. Is it
Yes,
best
yes.
practice or not?
It's not a best practice actually, because so what it will happen, if you override that data table, you will lose the original data. So instead of that, you can create a new data table, and then you can do, definitely you can save it. You can, you know, in the property panel, you can just go over here and you can say, okay, I save it inside the student only, that same data table only. But what will happen? The original data table will be overridden. So you can't use the original data table anywhere then, because you have overridden the data basically into the variable. So that's why I'm creating.
Okay.
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 Okay. So student, I have DT. Yeah, I have Indian. Okay. Now next task is, suppose I want to filter it out the data table, or let me check what is our next task. Okay. So in chat I got, we can use the same. Okay, you asked the question. You can ask directly. You don't have to give it into. Okay. Now let's go over here and let's see what we have. Now we have filter data table is done. Now we have merge data table. So what I need to do, okay? Suppose I have a data table, this data table, okay? I have an older data table. Suppose I have another data table and I can say this data table is old student info data table. And I want to merge this information. I want to merge all of this information, okay? I want to merge all of this information into my data table, into my original data table. Okay, this is my information and I want to merge it into my original data table. So what happens? Let's see. So first I will create this data table. So I'll build a data table again because I need to create this data table, right? So I'll take our activity, build data table. I'm going to create it over here and I'm going to say first column is my first column, data table column is, let's see, what's my data table column? Name, student ID is Indian, and year. Okay, name, student. The first column is name, definitely name. String, I'll put it -1. I can say, okay, entering the boom. Okay. Okay, now my second column is student ID. So student and ID. Okay, now I have created this one -1. Okay, pressed it over here. Now I can add more columns. So I'm adding more column, like suppose third column is age is Indian underscore Indian. Okay, now this is my is Indian. So it's a Boolean value and there's no default value. Allow null. I am allowing null. It's fine. Now I want to put a fourth one and I say it's a, let me check. What was the fourth column? Year. Okay, this is very different structure. Now I press year. I want to put it in first year, second year, third year. It's the integer value. Okay, now I have 4 columns. Okay, the first information which I'm going to put it over here is David. Okay, and I'm putting David. And this information, David 11214. 11214. Okay, now he is not from India, definitely. You can say with the name, and I'm putting it false. So I'll make it empty. Now, next one is Raghav. Okay, and Raghav is 12778. 1212778. Okay, now is Indian. Definitely he's Indian. And year is first year. He's also from first year. Now, I have 4 columns. Okay, now I have 4 columns. Created a data table. Okay, now I have 4 columns. But if you see my original data table, in my original data table, if you see, the structure is different. You know, the branch was there. Then I added a new column, right? I added a new column over here, and that this was total marks. That means my final in my first, the original data table, in my first original student info data table, there are 5 columns, including total marks, and these 4 columns were there. But if you see in my merge data table, this data table, I have only 4 columns. And I want to merge this data table into a original data table, this data table. Okay. So if I see my first data table, I have name, student ID, is Indian, and branch. Right. Now, if you see the second on total marks. Now in my second data table, I have name, student ID, is Indian, right? But instead of branch, what I have is I have year. Okay. Now, if I want to merge it, merging means I'll merge this data table. I'm merging this data table with this. That means the data need to be merged, right? The data need to be merged. I want to merge this T2 into T1. This old data table into my new data table. I want to merge. So what will happen? What will happen? Anybody can give me the answer. What will happen? So what do you think, Sachin? What will happen over here? Sachin,
Yeah, it will
wake
keep.
up.
Yeah, Marinder.
Yeah. So tell me what will
It
happen.
will keep
Uh-huh.
existing data table and add a new one. What is a new column?
Okay.
In new you have added year, so it will add only year.
Okay. Are you
As
sure about it? Okay. Fernando, what do you think? What's gonna happen? Fernando, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I am mute.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the all data in
Mm-hmm.
data table 2
Mm-hmm.
is merge, yeah, or copy in data table 1.
Uh-huh. Without any problem. Okay. Don't you think it's gonna give you an error? Means it can say, right? The structure is different. That's called schema. The schema is different. You can say that there's a problem in schema. So, you have 3 possible option over here. Okay. The first one is definitely the structure. There is a structure difference. If you see, there is a structure difference, right? There's a completely a structure difference. So the first is error. Because in the real scenario, in the real case, you don't want to merge any data table into your data table. You want to say that, okay, fine. If all the information are there, then only merge it. Otherwise, throw me an error bar. Otherwise, tell me there is a problem. Because logically, or coding wise, it's correct that it should merge it and just merge, add new data table and all. But think about in a business perspective, what will happen? So in merge data table, this is your question, that when they ask you that, okay, if you merge a data table into another data table, what will happen? So there are 3 possible things it can happen. The first one is the business can say, if the structure is not matching, it can throw error. This is the first possibility. Okay, business will say, throw me an error if the structure is not matching. That means there is some problem with the incoming data, right? So this is the incoming data which you want to merge into existing data. So there is a problem in the data. That's an error. So throw me an error. That's the first thing. Second option is you say add it. Second option is add it. That means you are saying, okay, which of the column is not present in both the data tables, add it to the original, the last data table. Okay. And this is add, which is very simple, which you all understood that, okay, it will add and it will add the column which is not present. The third option which you have is ignore. That means it will say, fine, it has year, right? Leave year. I don't want year. Fine. Whatever information you are getting, just add it. You got name, right? Add it. Student ID, right? Add it. Is Indian, right? Add it. And then keep those two entries empty for the information which is present in this one. So you have three options when you merge a data table. Completely clean thing. First thing, error. Business will say, throw me an error if the structure is not matching. The second one is, you will say, the business will say, add it, fine. Add the column over there if it's not present, which is very rare. I'm telling you, which is very rare. Adding is the last option because business doesn't want to, mess around with the data. And the third one is ignore the whatever data you are getting, which is, but error is mostly, you can say the 60% chances business will say throw error. Ignore is like, okay, 20% chances. Okay. And 20% chances is they will say, okay, just add it. Okay. So you have three options over here. So now let's go over here. I have built a data table. I'm going to store this information inside, because I have built a data table. I'm going to store this information inside the data table. And I'm saying old underscore student info. This is my another data table. Now I'm going to merge this data table into my original data table. So for that, I'm going to use merge data table. So I'll take merge data table activity over here. So merge data table activity just asks you two things, just three things basically. It just asks you three things. The first is source. That means what you want to merge. So what I want to merge my old student info data table. In which you want to merge the destination. That's my student info data table. There are two data table only. Okay. Now, third thing, missing schema action. It asks that, okay, if there is a missing in schema, the missing in structure, which we have already talked. Yeah. What I should do? There are four options, but add with key is a different one. You can just add it also. Okay. Add with key means it will add like, some key values over there. So first one is adding. Second one is ignore, and the third one is error. These three we use mostly. Add with key, we don't use it. Okay. Either you can say add, ignore, or error. There are only three things. So let's first add it and see how my structure works. Okay. Before running, I'm just gonna ask, anybody has any issue? Mahesh, do you have any problem till now?
No problem, Maninder.
Okay,
Fine, everything.
fine. So let's debug it and see our result. Okay, so I have merged old student info into the student info data table. Okay, now let me just okay, this is my original data table. You have seen it multiple times, so I'm just running it like this. Okay, now you have seen this data table over here. Fine. Now filter data table you have already seen. Now I have built a data table. So this is my old student data table. You can see this looks like this. Okay, here. Fine. Now let's merge it. And now I can see my student info. So if you see student info, as you all have expected, this year is already there, right? These doesn't have any year, so just comma value is there. Comma means it's expecting information over here. Okay. Now over here you can see for these two, these are two new information which I have merged from the older one, and you can see over here this was added. Okay. Now let's see how the error works. Okay. In merge data table, if I go and I put error, not ignore, but error. See first error, what kind of error gives you, and you now from now onward you need to understand error by yourself. If the error is coming, what is the error? You need to find out. Okay, so how to look into the error, you will see in the error list. So I'm running it. Now faster. Okay, faster. Now faster. Okay, now okay, faster, and then okay, now merge. Okay, and I'm put step into. Now it gave me a error over here. You can see that error into your output panel over here. And what is the error saying? Saying merge data table. So your activity name is merge data table, right? Right now you can change the activity name from display name. You can just edit the name over here. You can, if you want to change that, you can change this name and it will show it here. So first thing, always the first thing will be your activity name. So that you, that's why we always suggest developers to change the name, make it a meaningful name. Suppose to merge data table is there, so that you can know that, okay, what, it will be merge data table only. So you're gonna get confused with the activities. So if the activities name are different, you will be, this error will be pointing to the right activity. So merge data table activity is saying in this activity, target table name missing definition for column year. That means saying that target where you are targeting there, that table name is missing definition of column year. This year column is missing over there. So it gave me the error, and I'll press over here. It's done. And then runtime execution pop-up will come. This is how error will come. Now let's see ignore. If I ignore it, okay, now let's run it with the ignorance. If I ignore, what will happen with the data? And oh, sorry, let's put it like this. Okay, I have student, right? Good. Sorry. Okay, now I got the data, final data table. Yeah, sorry, original data table. Now remove the information of Rohan. Okay, now this is the information. Now filter the data table. Now build the data, new data table. And over here, now I can see in my original data table, what happened. Now over here you can see the information is still total marks only. There is no comma after this. There is no comma like this. If there is a comma, that means it is expecting another value after this. So you can see it is ending at like 0, 0, 0. This is mark, then 0, 0, 0, because there's no marks was given to these. And now you can see it has ignored the additional column which was present in source. Only it will ignore only those column which is present in source, not in destination. Always remember this. And then your final is done. Now let's see what happens with add with key. Okay, I never use this this functionality, and I never.
So Maninder, Amol
Yeah.
here.
Hi, Amol.
So which is the good way to use in real time scenario?
Real time scenario, as I said, it completely depends on business.
Okay,
So
data.
yes, no. Business means the team who has given you the project. That team is called business. So business will tell you, Amol, that okay, that should be your question. That okay, hey, tell me, suppose Amanda is there from someone, or Amol, you are there from India. You need to ask that. Okay, I'll ask, hey, Amol, you're merging. You are expecting this data table to be merged, this data merge into this data. So if there is a structure difference, table structure difference, what you want me to do? I have 3 possible things which I can do. So then they will tell you, okay, throw error or throw add or ignore. Mostly it will be error. 60% that will be error, 20% add or 20% ignore. But 60% they will say if the structure is not matching, there is some problem with the input data, because it's robotics is mostly the structured things. Right. Okay, got it. Okay, so now let's see the 4th functionality together. I haven't used it till now in my any of the project. I have done 100+ projects, and I haven't add this add with key. I want to see with you guys how this works. Okay, so let's see. Compilation activity. Okay, now it is compiled my code. Now activity, this one, now this one. Okay, now add okay over here. Now press okay like this. Yeah, I'm checking add with new data. Now I want to see how it has added with the key. Okay, now Okay, this is there. Come on, filter. Okay, merged. Yes, it's merged the data table. Now let's see original data table. Hey, there is no change here. Just added. I think it's there. It's all same. Yeah, so that means add and add key is same. Okay, cool. So merge this is how you can merge the data from one data table to another data table. Okay, any doubt in this, Nilofer or anybody? Any doubt, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Fine. So now let's see how to, as we have seen, merge data table. Okay, now the most important, first, let's see sorting. Okay, we'll see sorting first, and then we'll see join, which is very important part. Okay, now how to sort a data table. I have few data like this data. Okay, I want to sort it according to student ID. Okay, so suppose you want to sort it according to student ID. So how to do it? Okay, so I'll take a short data table. Short data table. I'll drag it over here. No information required, not that much information required. It just need, again, it's similar to the filter in input and output format. How it is similar? I'm saying that first thing, always, right? It will ask you which data table you want to sort. So I want to sort student info data table, the original data table. Now, after that, it will ask you, okay, not private. It will ask you where you want to save it after sorting. So it's depend on you whether you want to, whether you want to store the sorted data into the same variable or the different variable. Most of the time, it's on the same variable. Because you are not removing or you are not adding some information, you are just sorting the information. Okay. But in filter, I have created a new data table in filter? Because it is manipulating the data. It's just adding or removing something from the data. That's why I created a different one, so that you can use the original data table. But if you go to the sort data table, in the sort data table, it's just sorting. There is no removal of data, no addition of new data, just sorting on the basis of a column. So the second thing, it will ask you, tell me the column according to which you want to sort. I want to sort according to the student ID. Again, three options you have. Either you can give the index of this column, which is 0 and 1. One student ID is at first index, or you can say second position, right? Either you can give a string name, which is the best practice, or you can create a student student ID column object, and then you can give it over here. You have, when it asks you sorting column, you have three options. Either you can give just name like this, or you can give first index like this, or you can create a column object and then give it that variable over here. Any one of, you have three options, but you have to give only one. You can't give two. That's why you saw the error, right? You just have to give only one option, either an index, either a name, either a object. Now, another one is, it will ask you whether you want to sort it in ascending order, increasing order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or decreasing order. That means first column will be the highest value, then second column will be a little lowest, third column will be a more lowest, most lowest, like this. So I want to put it in ascending order. Mostly student roll number, student IDs are like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So I want to put it in the ascending order. So I have kept it ascending only. If you want to put descending, you can put descending also. Okay. So now student info, again, I'll go step into and I'll check the student info. I have stored my sorted value into the same variable because of the obvious reason that it is not manipulating the data. It is just adding or deleting the data. Okay. So now let's see how sorting works over here. Okay, now over here, build, merge, and sort. Now I have stored the sorted data table in student info only. Now you can see student ID has been sorted according to the student ID, means student info has been sorted according to the student ID, completely according to the student ID. Okay. Now the obvious question can be, you can ask that, okay, can I sort according to 2 columns? Okay. So these are data table activities, and the data table activities are made in such a way that, you know, it should be simpler, not complex. Definitely you can do with a VB. Okay. There is a default data table property is there, data table dot default data table property is there, where you can just put true and it will sort according to the columns. You can just give column names and you can sort it according to 2 columns, 3 columns, like this. But you have short data table, and now if you want to sort it according to in the student ID you have sorted, now you want to sort according to year, then what will ask that, in the obvious real-time scenario, what if I ask that, okay, can Mahesh, can you sort it according to student ID, according to student ID and year, and you open an Excel file, suppose you have all the data in Excel file, you will open the Excel file. First thing Mahesh will ask me, first I should sort according to student ID or according to year. There is always, you have to do first a column sorting and the second then another column sorting. You can't do it together. First, one by one, you do it. So if you want to sort it again, okay, the data table, you have to take a short data table again, and again you have to give here like this. Data table is student data table, sorry, this is string where student data table info, save it inside a student info, right? And now come on, tab, and now column name, I can give name like year, right? And I want to put it in ascending order. So this will sort my data table first according to student ID, then second according to year. Okay, so this is your sorting a data table. It seems very simple and plain, but I'll tell you, sorting data table is very useful activity. It is more useful than merged, mostly used than merge. Sorting and filter are two activities in Excel automation, in data table automation, which is widely used and mostly used. Okay, the sorting concept, this activity should be very clear for you. Got it, Samruddhi? Any doubt for now?
No, sir.
Okay, all clear,
And
right?
in the
Hi,
hi,
Bhavani.
in first time sorting the data table, we are taking the input like students info, and we are storing the same sorted data into the students info.
Yes.
So the data in the students info will be only the sorted data, or the before table also.
Okay. No, the student. So see, whenever you overwrite something, right? If I am putting, so what I did actually is, I have a data table. Suppose I have a data table over here. So when you say student info, what will happen? This variable create a section for itself in a memory, right? In a memory. Create a section, a table for in a memory. It created a space in a memory. Initially, a table was there. Now what happened? I have sorted this table and stored it inside this variable. That means stored it inside this place. It will be overridden. Why it will be overridden? Because I have pasted the new data in this memory. So it's like, okay, reassigning the variable. If I say x is equal to 5, and then I say x is equal to 6, what will be the value? Bharti.
It will be 6.
Yes. Now understood?
But means I wanted to use the same data for sorting the table into the means I am wanted to use data for sorting next time. So the data will be 6. So remaining data like branch is Indian, nothing will be there. Then how can I sort the data which is
No,
not
no, no.
there in the
The
memory?
data will be there. It's sorting.
Data.
Yeah, it's sorting according to one column. That doesn't mean that it will have only that column. It will have all the columns, but sorted according to that particular column.
Okay.
Got it? If you see over
Yes, got
here
it.
also, yeah, if you see over here also student ID. So it's initially, okay, now this is my initially a data over here, right? You can see Kevin is there, then John is there, Rohan is there, name is, everything is there, right?
Yes, got
And it's random, yeah.
Just if we want ascending or something kind of.
Yes. So it will, so if you want to short it, you will say, if I say, okay, short this data table, your exact question will be like, okay, I will sort this data table, but according to which column you want me to sort it? Because you have multiple columns, right? You need to ask me, okay, you need to sort it, but according to what? Right.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Cool. Anybody have any other question? Who's this Paddy? I don't know. Can see someone is named as Paddy. Hi, Paddy. I don't know whether you are talking on mute. This is Paddy. Hello, Paddy. So Paddy is on mute completely. Okay. Or the person doesn't know his name is Paddy or her name is Paddy. Great. Cool. Okay, now next task is we have two new two tasks. The first is join data table and the second is Foreach data table. But before that, I have one more activity, which was somebody asked me that, can you explain this lookup also, right? Lookup in data table. So let's see what is lookup. Okay. So lookup, what is a lookup? Okay, lookup. Okay. Now I have a data table. This is my original data table, right? This is my original data table. Okay. This is my original data. Okay. Now what lookup does is you are saying, suppose you are saying this in this student info, can you tell me the position of John? Where I can find information about John. That's lookup. Right? You have a bigger data. Let's suppose you have 10 lakh rows or 1 million rows. You have billions, millions rows. In the original data, you will have thousands rows. You will not have 10 rows, 15 rows, 18 rows. You will have thousands, 10,000, 20,000 rows. And you want to add or you want to update or you want to do something with that data, right? And suppose this is your 1,000 rows and you want to ask me, you will say, hey, Maninder, in student info data table, what is the position of Rita? Where I can find Rita? So lookup data table will give you the information of Rita and it will say, hey, listen, Rita is present at 0, 1, 2, 3. Third index, third row index. This is lookup. Got it, Rajeshwari?
But lookup returns the index or the complete row?
I'll tell you. Okay. So yeah, Fernanda, this is an obvious question, right? So it doesn't return you the row. It will never return you the row. Okay, but it has two benefits over here. First thing, you can ask me in student info table, where is Rita? And the second thing is, you can ask me that, can you tell me what is the student ID of Rita? But it will never give you the entire row. It will, first thing, it will give you the position of that row, index of that row. And the second is, if you want the corresponding value of that, the corresponding value of that, any column in that row. Got it, Fernando?
Okay.
Okay, fine. Now let's see. Okay, now let's go to our build data table, and I have data table activities. Now I have lookup. Okay, now you can see the structure. Don't go with this one. This is very look very dangerous. First thing, input. It is asking me input in a data table. So I'll give input in a data table. I have my student info. What I want to search for? I want to search for Rita. Do I have Rita in my data? Let me check. Yeah, Rita is in my data. Okay. It will give me the data. Okay, fine. What is it asking me? Require option. Okay, fine. Now, where you want to look up? Where you want to look up Rita? You have given the lookup value. Okay, fine. I want to find the Rita. Now, cell value. I want to store into cell value, a column. Again, it will find Rita, but where to find Rita? Either you can give lookup column means where in which column I should look this value. So I said, okay, fine, look it is into name column, and all good now. Okay, now all good. If I give this information, it will give me cell value. Oh, sorry, not cell value. It will give me row index. Control K, row index. Okay, I've just got confused variable. It will give me row index. There are two output only, cell value and row index. There is not third. There is no third output. It's only two outputs, cell value, row index. So now let's first see how it gives you. And we'll see both the values, cell value and row index, what it is giving. Okay. And let's compile it and step into. Okay. Whoever asks about lookup, this is really an important topic, not according to the project, but according to interview. They ask you, what lookup does, because most of the people doesn't use lookup generally. Lookup is used in a crucial things, in the small section, but it's very important. The concept of lookup is important. Okay, now you are in the lookup. Now step into. I got the information. Okay, step into. Now let's see in my variable panel. You can see row index is 3. That means I got information at third. And the second output for lookup was cell value. And you can see this null. There's no value in the cell value. And then finally it's done. But
Maninder,
yeah,
cell value, what information that takes?
Yes, I'll come to the next point. Okay.
Okay, because
This was the
right?
Yeah, now I'm showing it. Okay.
Okay.
The first thing was, tell me in this, what is the position of Rita? What is the position of Rita? That was a row index 0, 1, 2, 3. It was third. Okay. Now you want to understand. Okay, fine. You got the Rita. You want to say, you will ask me that, okay, can you tell me student ID of Rita? So what I need to do is I need to give target column, and then it will give you cell value. What is the value of Rita's that target column? So I'll give what I want, student underscore ID. Underscore ID. That means I want to get Rita's student ID. So now if I go step into, Okay, now if I go step into, and now I run it. Okay. 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 And filter, and now build, and now merge, and now sort, again sorting, again lookup. Now you can see, okay, wrong variable assigned. Oh, I need to change the variable basically, because this now, okay, now it's good. You are getting error. It's good. Okay, now you can see the error. Okay, can anybody tell me what is the error? It's good. It's interesting sometime. Yeah. Parvesh, can you read the error? Can you tell me what is the error and what you are expecting from this error? What do you think? What is the error? Parvesh or Fernando, you can tell me what is the error? Why I'm getting this error?
I mean, we can't convert type string to integer.
Okay. What do you think? Why I'm getting this error? I understood
What?
it. What do you think? Why I'm getting this error? Why? Amigo, tell me. Why I'm getting this error?
Yeah, because the cell value is the type string.
And it is returning integer.
Yeah, we
Okay,
need to convert that in integer.
Yes. Okay, so now if you see, guys, over here, this is a int 32. Okay, and it will get the value over here in lookup. Okay, but if you see, I'm storing this value in cell value, and the cell value is a string type. That means I need to convert this cell value into the integer first. Amol, clear?
Yes, Mahinder.
Okay, great. So it is written. This is a very common error. I'll tell you, this is very common error. You will get it, and you know this is a first error. Mostly you will get the error. This is a very common error in lookup. Okay, people forget. People just go over here, and because we are used to the control K, we just click over here, control K, and create it. But we forget the default value. If you see the variable, if you see over here, okay, give me a second. Okay, if you see, it is out argument. That means it will be whenever you press Control K and create it, by default it will create string value. So it is created a variable, but with the string. So I need to convert into integer because output type was not mentioned over here. Now let's run it and let's see our information. Okay, now step into. Why I'm doing this step into, so that I can see in my output panel. Okay, sorry, not in output, locals panel. Okay, they can ask you why local panel is used for. Okay, when local panel is used for, but output panel is used for. They ask you generally that, okay, what are the common panel which you use in debugging? So in debug, you use local panel and watch panel. I'll show you in further stages. Okay, don't worry about it. So short, fine. Oh shit, why I went with the right line also. Just give me a second, guys. I need to run it again. I forgot to stop it over there. Yeah. Just went with the flow. So, okay. Quicker. Okay, quick. Okay, quick. So message box, come on. Now I'm filter. Okay, I'll go over here, merge. Yeah, short, lookup. Okay, now I'm in the lookup. Now I have to go step into. Now I can see over here, if you see, my cell value is 56784 and my row index is 3. So it gave me two values. It says Rita is at third row, okay, and corresponding to Rita, student ID is 56784. Okay, these are the two information, and these are the only two output it gives you. Remember, if you don't give target column, it will only give you row index. If you give target column, that means my bot knows that what it need to find now according to the lookup column. People get confused with the lookup column and target column. They are like, okay, what should I fill in lookup column? See, you are looking up for a value. You are looking up for a value first. You need to check in a lookup column. In which column you need to look up for that value. So lookup column will be always with the value which you are looking for, right? And then target means I'm saying that, okay, I got this value. Now target that column. I need value from that column also according to this looked up value. Okay, so don't get confused with lookup and target. Interviewer can make you confused with the lookup and target. They can ask you that, okay, what will be in lookup column and what will be the target column? So always remember, lookup column will be where you are looking up for a value, and target column will be like you got the value. Now you want to say that, okay, get me the value of that column also according to this value. Okay, clear, Nilofer?
Yeah, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So my friend, now next target. Now next target, which is, I hate this topic. It's because it's very tedious. Okay, now I have joined data table. Okay, I have joined data table. This is the concept of SQL, joint data table. Join is concept of SQL. But before this, I want to tell you a set theory. Have you ever read maths? Right? You must have read maths in your curriculum. So there is set theory, set A and set B. You have, suppose, some information in x1, set A, x1, x2, x3, y2, z1, a4, like this. Then you have set 2. Okay. And you say in set 2, you have x5, x9, a4, z1, and p9, and the name of Elon Musk's son. Okay. You have 2 sets. Now in set theory, there are 2 concepts, one called union, the second one called intersection. Okay. In union and intersection. Preeti, you clear about union and intersection? Have you ever heard about these?
Yes, sir. Sir, union में जो हमारा intersection में जो common होता है वो आता है और union में सारा आ जाता है.
Okay, great. So in union, you will get both the information. And in intersection, you will get the common information. That means if I say A union B, I'll get a set of information x1, x2, x5, x9, x3, y2, z1, a4, then z1 is there, az is there, then p9 is there. We'll get x9 and anything which is total, complete about both the things. This is called full join. This is called full, complete. This is called full. Union, full. Now talk about intersection. When I say intersection, A intersection B, that means I want to get information which is common in both the things. That's called inner. That's called inner. Full and inner. Inner means I just want only information which is common in both the things. Inner, very close. Right. That means I want information which is common. Which one is common? A4 is common. Then we have Z1 is common. Then what we have common? We have common only these 2, right? I guess. Yeah. Only these 2 information are common. So A intersection B will give me those 2 information. Similarly, A intersection B will give me the information which is inner, will give me the information only this one. This is how Join concept is also there. Join means you are joining two tables, not merging. Merging is a different concept. Merging is you are adding, I'll tell you. Merge and join. Understand this thing, okay? When you will say you are merging data table, and when you say you are joining data table, merging data table means you have a data table, okay? C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. You want to merge that data, merge this data into this one. That means all the information either or the required information will be merged over here. That means if this one has R1, R2, R3 rows, and this one has, another rows, R1, R2, then the final data will have 5 rows. And if you want to add columns, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 5 columns. This is merging. You're merging data. You merge data always. Okay, but in join, what happens in join? In join, two data table T1 and T2, it will not similar. In one, T1 and T2, in merge, T1 will be very similar to T2. This is the symbol of similarity. Similar, matching, a lot of matching thing will be there. Not data, but column will be matching. Row will be increased, number of row will be increased. But in join, T1 and T2 will never match. Only one column will be matching. Only one column will be matching. Only one column will be matching. Where the join comes, okay? Now understand. Join comes, like suppose you have a information of student, right? Basic information of a student. And then you have information of student's father. You have a table of fathers only, where you have father name, then you have father of occupation, then you have what you can say, father's age, then you have father's date of birth. There's no information about student. In student, you have student information only. Student age, student branch, student year, student name, student ID, student whether it is Indian, whether it is not Indian, and all. You have information about, only information about student. You have only information about father. Now you want to map those information. Join is used as mapping. And merge is used as combining, or not combining, but you can say merge. Merge is normal. Join is used for mapping. You want to say, okay, give me a final data table, which will be the combine of student information and student father information. That's joining. No row increment will be there. There's no row. If it has row 5, it will give you row 5 only. It will give you only 5 rows. That means there will be no addition of rows. There's no addition of rows. Column will be increased. If it has 5 column, it has 6 column, you will have finally you have 11 columns will be there, because the final data table will have student information also, father information also. But in merge, the rows will be increased. Number of rows will be increased. Okay. Nilofer, till here, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
Means
Now,
join means matching, na?
mapping.
Mapping,
Yes.
matching means student
Yes,
number
matching. Yes, student
matching.
information with his father information.
Yes.
Yes, that's join. And merging is you're merging data of one data table into, you have a small data table. You want to merge it together. That means structure should be same. Now, information should be relatives, very, very relative. And mapping means related information should be there, not exact informations. Okay. Now understand, if you have understand the difference between mapping and join, I'll park merging and I'll keep joining now. Okay. Now, any doubt, Rajeshwari? All good?
Yeah, Maninder.
Great. Now, okay. Now let's focus on join. Okay. If anybody has any doubt, please raise the question over there on. Okay. Now join. Let's understand join. Now, how one table will be mapped or joined to another table? There comes a concept of unique key and foreign key. Now, understand unique key. Unique key means the column will have unique values. Then only you can map. Na? You can say that, okay, I'm mapping student ID with a student ID. Unique key means it will have unique information. It should not like, okay, two students have similar student ID. Now you are searching in his father information. That father is matching with one father is matching with two students. Or two father have same ID. And now two fathers are matching with one student. That means ID should be unique. One father, one student, one father, one student, one father, one student. IDs are unique. And foreign key means you will say here you have student ID. And in father's table also the first thing will be student ID. And then father information will start. Because otherwise, how are you going to know that whose father whose is? Either it can be name, but name can be duplicate. So foreign key should be always unique key. Foreign key should be always unique key. Unique identifier. So now you can map student. You will say T1 dot student ID should be equal to T2 dot student ID and then merge it. According to this criteria, please merge it. Then it will give you a final information of which is matching. Santosha, all clear?
Yes.
Great. If you are not understanding anything, please raise the question. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fernando, all clear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. So unique keys, great. You understood unique key should be very single. You know why? Because in both the columns, in both the tables, if you start matching, it will mismatch. Suppose I'll tell you, my student ID is 1. Okay. And I have a column of father. Okay. One is Mr. Singh and one is Mr. Raghunath Singh. And student ID assigned to both my both that father is Mr. Singh is 1. Raghunath Singh is also 1. When you get information, you will get 2 information with respect to me, which is very wrong. Information should be 1. So that means 1 information will be there. So if my father is assigned with my ID, then I will say in student table, student ID should be equal to father's table dot student ID. So that means if I say 1, I'll say, okay, 1 student ID. Okay, in both the tables, both my parents will stand and I will stand. One person. And then I'll get both the information, keep it side. Now again, I'll shout, Fernando. Okay, suppose Fernando is 1 ID, as a second ID, I'll say, okay, whose roll number, whose student ID is 2. Fernando will stand from, that table. And from another table, his father is there. His father will stand. And I'll say, okay, come, both People come, stand over here. Now I have make you at the second row. Now I'll say Amol. Okay, now Amol will stand from the student table and from father's table, because Amol's father is assigned with the tag which is third. Somebody told him your ID is third. Now Amol's father will stand and Amol fathers will come. That means the information I have came. I'll put that information into the third one. This is how the sequence will go. Okay. Now you have information from 2 to get. Okay. Now you have two tables, T1 and T2. You have 3 types of join. When you are joining the information, when you are joining the table, you can join according to 3 information. According to that, how to join it. Okay, now understand. First join is fully join. How full join work? The final table will have both the information, irrespective of whether it is matching or not. Irrespective of whether it is matching or not. How to understand it? Okay. Now let me open an Excel file. Okay. Now let me show you this one. Student. Okay, this is table name, student ID. I'm keeping it in a shortcut, student ID. Then I have name, student ID, and branch. This is my first column, the first table. This is my second column, father. Okay, now father's name. Okay, student ID of student. Okay, now father occupation. Okay, now let's suppose I have information. I have Maninder X, then I have Y, then I have AB, then I have RS. Okay, now student ID, suppose I have place it 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I have branch. Suppose branch is, this is branch, this is branch, this is branch, this is branch. Okay, now let's suppose father's name, Singh, ID 1, and occupation army. Okay, now second one is, okay, second one is I have something name, this one I have placed it 5, and occupation is this. Now this is there. Okay, now this is 2. This can be like this. Okay, okay, now understand this one. This is 2 tables. I have 2 informations, 2 tables are there. Now suppose I want to make a full join. I said join it, full join. And how to join it? According to student dot student ID, where it is matching with father call table dot student ID from it. This is the condition. I want to make a full join according to this condition. Okay, according to this condition, I want to make a full join. So what will happen in full join? Whenever join will happen, remember the columns will be there. The columns will be there. It will become 1 maybe. Okay, you can remove it later. No worry, duplicate columns you can remove. Okay, the columns will be there. Now this is full join. So what will happen? I will get the information like this. Okay, now 1 student ID matching with student ID. So name of my father will be respective to me, to this one, and the occupation will be copied, and occupation will be there, and this will mark as 1. Okay. Now XY, but condition student ID I need to match. So it is 2. I need to find the information in this one. So it will be like 2. I'm finding it over here, then finding it over here. Okay. And it will be 2 also. Now 3, AB, 3. It will find information in this one and it is not able to find any information about 3. So it will leave it. Now 4. 4 is there, the information is there, right? So the information will be here. Okay, why I'm copying this one by one. I can copy it like this, copy, and I'm putting it like this. Okay. Now, what will happen with the information which is rest? Now, about 3, I don't have. Now, about 5. I don't have any information in the first table about 5, and it is full join. That means I need in my final table, I will have all the information, both the tables of information. So 5's information will be, and 32's information will also be there. This is how your full join table will look like according to student ID. This is your table. This is how your table will look like. Understand the concept, which is very important over here. This is your full join. Full join means both the information. As you've seen, full join or union is same. All the information will be there. Okay. Anybody has any doubt? Mahesh?
No doubt, man.
Okay. This is full join. Now the second type of join which you have is inner join. So if you have inner join says inner join. If I put it inner join, sorry. Inner join says that I need information, definitely I need information of both the columns. That means the column name will be same like this. Column name will be copied like completely. Okay. But what will happen? What will happen? You will have only information which is common in both the tables, That means this information, you can see this information over here. You can see third is not there in the second one, right? If you see the student ID, third is not there. So this information will not be there. That means you can delete this information, right? And you can shift this row over here like this. And with respect to this information, you have information like this. Copy it from here. I'll delete that like this, right? And this is your inner join table. Only this much information. Because inner join says that data in both the tables. Inner join says data in both the tables, which is common data in both the tables. That only it will accept. That's inner join. Got it, Bharti?
Yes, Maninder.
All good, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this is inner join. Now you have third type of join. That's called left join. That's the third and the last type of join. Okay. This is a little bit lengthy topic, but it's a good topic. And they ask you, they can ask you what is the difference between what kind of joins you have in UiPath and what is the difference between full joints to inner joint and left joint. And they may confuse you with the full joint and the inner joint. They will say, okay, fine. In the full joint, if I don't have any data in the first table, what will happen? Whether it will delete the data or not. They will never say that, okay, what will happen? They'll say delete the data or not. Just push a doubt in your brain. So I'm saying, okay, fine. Student ID again, same according to this column, because these are my unique and foreign keys. Definitely, like others also, it will copy all the columns. But now, why it is called left join? Left join means I will have information of left table, all the information of the left table, and only matching data of right table. That means which are the matching data? Only these I have information of. In the right table, I have information of first, 2, and 4th, which is matching in the first one. So left join means I will have information of left table, complete left table, and information corresponding to that from the second table. That's left joint. Similarly, the right joint is there, but in UiPath, you don't have right joint. You have only 3 joints in UiPath. You have full joint, inner joint, left joint. But right joint is also, in right joint, you will have all the information of right table. You will have all the information of right table, but not the information of left table. That's how it is basically. Okay. So this is how your left join, right join, and inner join concepts are there. If you are clear with the concept, I can go ahead and show it in UiPath. But if you have any doubt, please raise the question before going ahead with the activity. Fernando, all good?
Yep.
Clear?
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Amol, any doubt, buddy?
No, Maninder.
All good, right?
Good. Yeah, all good.
Great. So let's move ahead now. Okay, fine. Okay. I hope I didn't forget to record the session. Great. Otherwise, you would have killed me. Okay, now this is how it works. Now let's go to UiPath and drag our activity. But before dragging our activity, I need to create a data table which I have old information about father. Then I have student ID and my father's age is there. Oh, this father my father is very young. Huh? People are very young in the father. Okay, cool. So I'll create a data table. Definitely, I need to create a data table first. I need to build a data table. Quickly, I'll build a data table. Okay, I'm building a data table. Okay, over here, I have 3 columns only. So father name is there. So I'll put it like this, and I'll put it -1. I don't want default value. Allow null, should not be. Then second column is student ID. So I'm putting a student dot ID. Okay, sorry, not ID, and student underscore ID. So student underscore ID. I have integer value. This is allow null. No, definitely don't allow null, because see, always remember, unique key should never be empty, which is unique key. Student ID is unique, so it should never be empty. Okay, this is a rule. Now I have my father's age over here. I'll put it number, integer. Okay, I'm putting in -1. Allow null, definitely not. Now let's add it. Father's is like this one. Tick tick tick. Now I'll take the information from here. Definitely 11214. I'll take 11214. Okay, now I have age. I'll put it 78. Now enter. Now another one is father is, I don't want to keep the father like this. 12778. 12778. And I'll keep this one like, oh, okay, put it like this. Okay, now build. Okay, now father is very old. Now list this one, and now let's say one student ID is 12. Just 12. Okay, and I'll put it like this. I'll put it, he's 100-year-old, about to get one more birth. Okay, and the age is 1. Cool. Now I have one build data table, and I say this data table as father's info. Okay, info, enter. Okay, now I have 2 data tables, student ID and father info. Now I'll take join data tables. Now I'm joining 2 data table, and definitely it will do, it will join a data table and store into the third one. While merging, when 2 data table was merged, it was like, okay, source is merged into destination, but in join data table, it will merge data table and store it into a third one. Okay, remember. So data table 1 become left table, data table 2 become right table. Remember. So my first data table is student info. Okay, why I'm telling you left and right? Because when you do left join, you have 3 joins, full, left, inner. When you do left join, the data of data table 1 will be always there. Okay? In the left joint, all the data of data table 1 will be there. So always keep in mind, like first left data table and the right data table. So this is my father info data table. Fine, I have put it like this. Now I'm storing this data table inside a variable, new variable, or I'm saying that full info student underscore dt. Okay, so full information of student. Okay, now I'll go to join wizard. It is giving me error because it is saying that, okay, I'll join both the data table, but tell me the condition at least. So I'll click on join wizard. Okay, click on the join wizard. Now you need to say, okay, column table 1, I'm saying that match it with student info. It is saying that, okay, tell me the column table 2 also. I'm saying that the column table 2 also, it should match with student info. Now it is saying that whether you want me to, give you information like greater than, it will give you all the information greater than, like this email ID, not email ID.
Student
Yeah.
ID or student info?
Sorry?
Student ID or student info?
Oh, so student ID will be there. Great. Thanks, man. It will be student ID. The column is student ID, right? Over here also the column name is student ID. Student ID will be there. Great. Now I want to check, and I want to say the condition is student ID is equal to student ID, and I'm putting it inner join. So first let's see what will be stored in full info. Okay, I have two data table. First data table, you are very aware of it because you have seen multiple time, and the second data table have these information. Okay, and these two IDs are there, which is matching maybe. Now let's again step into and I'll check the data quickly. Okay, tick 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 tick. Okay, cool. Tell me. I don't want to make same mistake again. Okay, I'll put it like this. Okay, now till lookup, I have all the information till lookup. Okay, now I have built a new data table, which is father's info data table, right? I put join. Now when I cross the join, it has crossed and I have student info, something like that. Full data table is there, should be there. Should be there, full student. Okay, now in full student info, if you see, it gave me the information about only two. You know why it gave me? Because I have made an inner join, and over here you can see it's a student ID, and over here you can see student ID underscore 1. It made it because the column duplicacy, to skip from the column duplicacy. So it gave me the information about only those two student whose information or whose student ID were matching. If you see this student ID were matching, it is matching over here. Okay. Now, if I stop it, okay, and make it, instead of inner joint, I make it full join. Okay. Now I'll go step into. I'm not doing other debugging method over here so that you don't get confused. But there is one debugging method also where I can directly go to that activity. Okay, but I'll tell you later in the classes also. Okay, now okay, message box is there. Now I am over here. Now build data table, join data table, and now I can see my data table, joined data table, full data table information. Now over here you can see. Okay. Now if you see the information over here, this is good. This is also good, but if you see then the second column, second table, you don't have any information about Kevin. So you get comma, 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 comma. That means you don't have information about all the column. Okay, and that's column, comma will be like equal columns. Okay, and you can see till here you don't have any information. Okay, but in second table you were having third column also. third row also. So first row is invested over here, second row is invested, third row, if you see, this is your third row, right? If you see, this is father, this is your student ID, and this is your age, 100 age. But if you see, the remaining value is either default or either empty. Comma is there in the starting, but the entire information is there. The entire information about both the column, both the tables is there. Okay, this is full join. But if you see left join, if you go for left join, now let's go for the left join over here. Okay, if you go for the left join, okay, so the left join, let's go for the left join. Yeah, buddy. Okay, left join. Okay, now let's go. I'm on the lookup. Now I'm building a table. Now I'm joining a table and I'm set up. Okay, now let's see our full join over here. Now, if you see in the left join, you have all the information about left table and the information about matching. You can't see the father whose student ID, whose kid's student ID was 12, because it got all the information about left table but haven't got any information about, haven't got the information of the father whose kid is not there in the student ID. So this is how your left joint work. Okay, activity is not tough. The left joint activity is not that much tough. The only tough thing is the concept of joins. They can ask you the concepts of join, because this is concept of SQL joins. Okay, but it's important in questions. So we have covered all the topics of data table, which is commonly used, and you will play in these tables, these activities only. You will play wherever you will automate a data table, a Excel, a database, or anything. Wherever you will automate things, you will use only these two activities. 99% only these activities. There will be no other activity you will be using. We have covered all the activities in data table which is actually used in the project, and which is asked in the question, in the interviews also. They are commonly used. Now the last activity is there, but before going to the last activity, I just want to ask you guys, all comfortable, everyone? Anybody have any doubt, any type of doubt? If you have, please go ahead and ask the question. After this, I'll go for each row, and that will be the last topic of today's class. Amol?
All good, man.
All good. Rajeshwari? All good?
Talking and mute. Yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah, Maninder.
All good, right? Great.
Yes.
Okay. You have my mother's name, so good. Cool. Okay. Okay. Now, the important thing one comes apart from filter and everything like this, what comes is when you want to iterate through each row, when you want to see each row, if you are good with the for each loop, then definitely you're gonna be very good with this concept also. So quickly, for each X in collection. For each data table works like this only. So if I say I want to read for each, then it will become for each row, and it will give me current row. For each row, current row in data table. This will be variable, which is this, and it will iterate through each row. It will iterate through each row. In one iteration, first row, second iteration, second row, third iteration, third row. So how this loop goes for each. I want to go in each row. That means it's a loop for each row. So for each row in data table, this is the last activity of for each, which you need to understand. And in Excel, in our next class, we will use this for each row. Data table activities also we will use. Every data table activity, we're going to use that at data table active, most of the data table activities. And you will see what kind of problem you get when you automate Excel. And after that, you will be automating, after Excel, next week, you will be automating websites and desktop applications. Okay, so feel free to revise. Okay, now for each ask you only two things, only two things. Even not the second thing also it asks you. It asks you, tell me the data table in which you want to iterate. I say iterate in the student ID data table. So it's fine. I'll iterate in the student. Done. It will iterate in each row, and current row is like, okay, in that iteration, what is the value of that row? Okay. But how to interact with each row's value? Like, this is my table. It will iterate through Kevin, John, Rohan, Rita, but I want to see student ID. I want to see student ID one by one. I want to see name one by one, or a print one by one. So how it gonna go? So how it will do, I will take a write line activity. Okay, I'm taking a write line activity, and you have three methods now. When it will be running, I will say in current row, please print name and convert into string, because current row is an object type. It's not a string type or an integer type or any other type. It is an object. So whenever I'm printing it in a log one, I need to convert that into a string. So I'll convert into a string. So first method is current row name dot string. This is the first method. I mentioned everything in the PPT. You go to the PPT. When you revise the PPT, I have mentioned everything over here. Okay, you have three methods to get the information. This is the first method. Okay, where you get the second type. Second, how to get the info. You don't know the column name, but you know the column position. So I'll go current row, and I'll say at 0 position, give me the information. At 0 column index, you can give column index also. So it will give me name. Third method is I'm gonna convert my current row into, because as you know, row is nothing but the array of index. Sorry, array of row array. It's a row array. When you were adding a row, you have seen it as a row array also. You can add row as two thing in a two form, right? A row object or a row array. So this is row object. I'm saying in this row object, I want to see the item. And what is the item? Yes, I want to see student ID. Give me the item of this column and convert it into toString and then paste it. Because see, I need to convert it into toString. Why I'm converting everything into toString? Because this is object. What it gonna give me return? Even if it will give me student ID, but it will be of object type. I need to convert that into string, and I'm saving it. So I have three methods to get the information. First method is current row, like this. Directly give the column name, your row object, column name, and when it will go, it will be rotating in this loop one by one by one by one. It is going in each row. It will get me the name. Either you have another method is you give the index, or the third method is you tell me in current row, give me the item whose column name is student ID. This is the third method. So if I run it now, let me run this file. and show you the information. Okay, now in output panel, you can see it has got the information. This is from current row and column name, and this is from current row column index, which is 0, and that is from the third one, which is item dot column name, which is student ID. This is again got all the information. Now, how to assign value? Suppose I want to make branch or all of is Indian as true. I want to make it true. Is Indian true? I want to make this true. So what I want to do, I will take a assign activity and I'll assign value. Whom to assign value? I'll take the current row. I'm saying in current row, you have one column which is Indian. I'm saying make everyone true. You don't have to put true string over here because see, it's a row object. You are directly assigning value to row object. When you want to get the information, you have to get it in a string format. But right now it is assigning. You are manipulating data. That means in original one, you don't have to make the column name or anyone. You don't have to make two string or something like that. You are assigning. You are putting a value at that position. You don't have to hold that position. You don't have to disturb that position. You are putting your value to that position. Over here, you are getting value from that position. When you got the value, you are converting that to string. But here you are just putting your value into that position. So now let's see in my final table. In my final table, after this loop, when this loop will be done, in my final table, I want to see a right line. So I'll put a toggle breakpoint over here while running it. Okay. So I want to see what will be my student ID. Okay, I'll debug it and I'll say debug file. Now let it run and see the last one. And you will see my student ID, all of my student ID in is Indian value should be true. Okay, now see the loop is running and now over here. Now let me check my student info table. If you see in my student info table, you can see is Indian is true. All is Indian became true. So that's how you assign value in a column. If you want to put some condition and then you put true, you can put if condition over here. Inside that you can put the assign one. Okay, so the loop is this is just like for each loop but with the data table, and this is current row. You can just add it like this. And when you are assign, remember when you are assigning value, you don't have to put current row is Indian dot to string. You don't have to convert. You don't have to disturb, or you are not getting value. When you are getting value, you need to convert the variable type, because whatever you will be getting an object. You need to convert that object into a string to use it. But when you are putting your value into the row, you don't have to disturb that row object. Okay, just assign the value. Okay, we will be using for each row in data table in our Excel automation tomorrow. So make sure whenever you have time today, revise this thing. And if you have doubt, you can go ahead and ask the question. So these were the topics. So we have covered all the important topic from data table. I will upload this, means this PPT is always there. So I'll upload this PPT also, and let me know if you have any doubt for now. Amol?
Sure, Maninder.
All good?
Yeah, all.
Okay. Till now, everything is good, right?
Yes.
Okay, great, man. So anyone is getting any issue, please let me know. Fernando, all good till now?
Yeah, all good.
Sure. So what you can do is you can see the recording, and whatever I am doing it over here, you can do it by yourself also. At the end of this PPT, you guys can see.
Maninder, I have one concern like that. Once you done a recording, can you please upload and one Google Drive where we can download from there? Or
Recording, it is downloading. It's not possible actually for now.
okay.
Means you can see it online if it's possible. Everybody has internet. See it in your mobile also. It's completely fine.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's on YouTube. So it's a shareable link, and it's on YouTube. So you can just go and watch it. Okay, with your email IDs, whatever email ID I have. So yeah, cool. Anybody has any other doubt? Anyone? Rajeshwari, all good?
Yeah, Maninder, but like, I have to go through the other videos and I need to start my lab. Maybe I may need your help. I'll get in touch with you. Like, no, I'll just message you or call you like by the next week, in between the next week.
Sure. Your UiPath is installed?
Yeah, that and all I did, but then since I'm going to lots of the things, I couldn't do it continuously.
No worries. So
I'm piling up my stuff, so I'm getting worried. Like, oh my God.
No worries. Slowly, you will get it. These are very fundamental topics. So, guys, please, next week, from tomorrow, Excel automation, and then we have UI automation, and also speed. We're gonna start with the very speedy things. So better you can cope up in this week, and then from the next week we are handling the topics which is you haven't heard about. So it will be good. Cool. Okay, Santosha, all good? I didn't hear you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you have this exercise. Please, once you are done with the thing, you can do this exercise also. Okay, this is a small exercise you can perform. And I'll see you tomorrow with the help of, with a new Excel automation. Okay. So tomorrow, fresh topic, Excel automation will start, and please be on time so that we can cover more topics. And let's Samruddhi, let's connect at 7 o'clock. Sachin, I can understand you have the problem also, so let's connect at 7 o'clock, right? Today, that works.
7 o'clock. Okay.
7 o'clock. So today, 7 o'clock IST, we will connect for the doubt session. So 7 to 8, 1 hour will be doubt session, guys. Or if it is stretch, it's completely fine with me. I can go for 7 to 9 also. So 7 o'clock today. If you have any doubt, we'll connect together.
Maninder, is it 7 p.m. IST today?
IST, yes.
That will be a morning time for me. Yeah, if possible, then I will also join.
Sure, works.
So,
otherwise I can schedule other time for you and Fernando.
Oh, okay.
Your evening time, maybe some weekdays evening time. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Great. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Works with you, Fernando?
Yeah. If in case if you have this extra classes and all, just post it in group so that when we are free, we can join.
Sure, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, Maninder, thank you so much.
Okay, no worries. I'll schedule the doubt session according to your feasibility also, your and Fernando's feasibility also. So it will be my morning time, some weekday, where your evening time will be there or something like. So I'll connect with you guys, and you can tell me your feasible time. Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, great, guys. If you have doubt, please stay in the call. If you don't have doubt for now from this topic, so you can leave for now. And if you have any doubt, please 7 o'clock in the evening, I'll share the link in the group. I'll ask Ankur, or I'll share the group link in the group for the classes for the doubt session, and we can connect over there in today's evening. Okay. So thank you for joining the session, and we'll see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank